everybody, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for everything Royal Caribbean related. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you over here. Happy Monday. Another week and another opportunity for us to hang out and talk Royal Caribbean together. Thank you so much for joining us here. Whether it's your first time live or it's your 50th time joining me live here, love having you part of the fun. Every Monday, we are live right here on YouTube with all of you guys. So come join us for the fun whenever you get a chance. Anthony Michelli is our first chatter in. Hello, Anthony. Also, Anthony for Monster, two different Anthony's starting us off. We got Jat, Tiffany Farnham is here. Cheryl Osborne, Preston is here. Christine O'Neill is joining us. Pooji, hello. Michael is here. Earl Zybarth, Gary, Richard, Sarah Baker. We've got Joe Johnson in the house. John DiMuccio, what's going on? John Karras, Dina, Red Baker, hello and welcome. Let's start today's live broadcast, guys, with the most important question, because we're going to get a lot of questions today, but we're going to start off with the one that's the most important. How many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Type your countdown in chat. Let's count down together. Nisa is here. Hello, Nisa. Welcome. Nisa wrote, Mad Attack. What's up, man? I love it. I don't think anyone's ever said that to me. Debbie, first time live. Welcome, Debbie. Glad to have you here. Karen Davis is here. Thanks for joining us. Gabriel from Houston, Texas. Welcome. Brandon Thompson is here. I got Strit. JJ Yakaza is here. Welcome. Tony Diaz in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I know a lot of people got questions. Start with Jerry Hancock's question. When will you be giving full refunds for cruises booked in Europe for May? Jerry, I don't work for Royal Caribbean. I'm not Royal Caribbean. This is just a blog about Royal Caribbean. But as of right now, dude, the sailings are scheduled to resume in April 11th. Now, you may think, well, that's not going to happen for a variety of reasons. You might be right. I don't know. I don't know more than you do, quite frankly. But it'll be at that time. But as of right now, there are no other cancellations or anything else going forward here in hang on, I just banned somebody. With sailings beyond April 10th, I should say. Hide. There we go. Perfect. Christy C, June 21st, Oasis, maybe. Skylar, how do you think cruises next year will be affected from the virus? I'm going on Allure May 2021. I really like to think by May 2021, this will be firmly in our rearview mirror. David Alvarado with his first super chat of the evening. David says, thanks for keeping the content going. 60 days till our next cruise. Nice. Love it. David, thank you so much for your generosity, my friend. Really, really do appreciate it. Thank you. Karen Davis was supposed to leave today on Mariner. I know I was supposed to leave. I was supposed to be on Harmony all last week. It stinks. There's no sidestepping the issue. But you're here among friends. We're all in this together, right? Bob, 188 days to Liberty. Thanks to Michelle at MEI Travel. Bob, thank you for supporting our sponsor at MEI Travel. Kim Oakland with another super chat here today. Kim, thank you so much for your generosity, Kim. Kim writes, thanks for keeping us up to date. Kim, thank you for all of your generous support. Really do appreciate it. And Kim and David, I'm so glad to have you guys here as always with all my friends, right? Everything's better with friends. Melanie is joining us here. Grace, Matt, does anyone really know when their next cruise is? Everyone knows when their next cruise is booked for, but whether or not it'll happen, especially cruises in the next 90 days, look, it's anybody's guess. But I really feel like, you know what, at the end of the day, you got to at least look at this is a glass half full situation. You've got to look at it like that, because otherwise you drive yourself crazy thinking about, all those things. But I like to have the idea of having my next cruise coming up. Love being able to have that something to look forward to. And if it happens, wonderful. And if not, well, it is what it is, out of my hands as well. Preston, what do you think about a cruise in June? I mean, the longer you go, the better your chances are. I honestly, guys, I wish I could tell you if you have a cruise in May, April, July, December, September, like, oh, you have a good chance, you don't, you do, you don't. Like, nobody knows. That's the reality. There is no information other than Royal will resume in April 11th. Now, could that be delayed? Absolutely. Could that go forward? Absolutely. So it's really hard to answer. I know that's like on the question on everybody's mind. Gabriel says, question for the followers, everybody in the chat, is anybody planning on canceling cruises for July? My due date for last payment is April 5th, and my wife does not want me to pay and get full refund. What are your thoughts? Gabriel, it's a really good question. A lot of people are going through that exact scenario. Got final payment coming up. Should I make final payment, right? My advice has been basically this. With the cruise coming up and final payment coming up, I should say, do you want to go on the cruise? Forget everything else. Would you want to go on the cruise? If the answer is yes, then you should make final payment. And if it gets canceled, then, you'll have some options there. But at the end of the day, are you interested in going on your vacation? And there's a lot of factors to consider. Not only your personal factors, your family, your work, all those other things out there. But for me, I still feel confident with my cruises going forward. And again, I've had a cruise cancel on me already. It stinks, but it's not the end of the world, and we'll get past it. And by the end of the day, I'm willing to take the risk that I'm going to go on the cruise than sit on the sidelines. Megan Mapson, what do you like better in Cozumel, Sanchos or Paradise Beach? Going to Cozumel for the first time next year in January, Lord willing. I hope so as well for you, Megan. Really, this is a question, Megan. Both are excellent locations. It's really a question of do you want to have all-inclusive or not? Because, Mr. Sanchez is fabulous. It's all-inclusive. Paradise Beach will cost you a lot less money, but you can, kind of go, you'll be able to save on the budget, but you're obviously not going to be eating as much or drink as much. It's really about drinking more than eating. And this really goes, how much do you want to eat or drink? Look, I am the first person, Megan, to be like, yes, all-inclusive, baby, love it. I always book it. I think it's just fun to do that and take away that element of thinking, but how much do you really drink or eat, especially when you're on a cruise ship, which has a ton of food? Maybe we're going to have the drink package on board. You can make the argument either way. I love both places. I think I like Paradise Beach better, but Mr. Sanchez is fantastic. Gary Miolo with a super chat. Gary, thank you so much, Gary. Gary writes, just want to say thanks for all the info throughout the years. Gary, I really and truly appreciate your comment here and your super chat. Your support, not only of you, Gary, but all our friends here, has made such a difference, and I am so lucky to have each and every one of you part of the fun here. Whether it's today, next week, next month, so many of you have been such great friends for a long time. So, Gary, really appreciate that. And another super chat coming in, Andy Poro in the house. Andy says, do you think the reamplification will be done to the Allure by December? No idea, brother. No idea. It's delayed. It's all we know. I think there are so many of those tertiary decisions that need to be made, but they're not going to be made until there is some semblance of normalcy that resumes, right? Cruises need to get back up. Bookings need to bounce back. Like, a lot of things have to happen, and I feel like the Allure amplification is pretty low on that totem pole purely because it's about spending money, and they don't have that money right now. They want to be as fiscally responsible as they can in the interim, so they're going to put out that decision, Andy, until the last possible moment. MJ Lemmer with a super chat. MJ, thank you so much. Wow, thank you. Traveling with my family of 7, my wife and myself and our 5 kids. Anything we should consider, like the Key or Cabana, Perfect Day, or anything we should avoid and not waste our money on. Ooh, that's a great one. I love this question, MJ. So I think the Key is not worth it, MJ. I've done a video here on our YouTube channel, if you haven't seen it yet, why I don't think the Key is worth it. So I think you can get around that. Watch that video. I think it'll be helpful for you. I do love cabanas. I absolutely love getting cabanas at either Perfect Day, Coco Key, or at Labadee. I think they're a little pricey, but I think they are worth the money, especially for families. You've got kids. 5 kids! Holy moly! God bless you, sir, or madam, I'm not sure, but wow, that's a lot of kids. Get a cabana. Yeah, that's worth every penny right there. I think that's definitely a biggie right there. But pre-book anything you do, whether it's cabana, a drink package, especially restaurants, pre-book as much as you can to save some money. Hey guys, says, tell my girlfriend that it is safe to cruise. That's a really good statement because I would have told you about 2 months ago, totally safe to go cruise. I will tell you this, no matter where you travel in the world, there is risk involved. I truly do not believe cruises are any more dangerous than getting on an airplane, going on a train or a bus, or going anywhere. I mean, really, with the corona, I know we're really talking about the coronavirus here. And dude, there are so many things that are happening right now. It's literally changing every day. And I'm not sure when your cruise is, but down the line, in the months to come, I think I don't think this will really cross people's mind, quite frankly. Whitney, has anyone heard the status of the travel ban being lifted? I'm not sure which travel ban you're referring to, Whitney. So, Cheryl Sims, looking forward to your very first cruise in November on Oasis of the Seas. Nice. Lizzie, recommendations to do in St. Thomas or St. Kitts? Both are really great beach spots. Megan's Bay in St. Thomas. And St. Kitts, I don't have a specific beach recommendation, but a lot of people end up over there. So, Edwin says, is the loan Royal Caribbean took out today good news or bad for Royal Caribbean? Was a little confused. It's good in the short term. It's like anytime you go to the bank, right? The good news is they have now a lot of money on hand, Edwin, in order to, by the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, Royal Caribbean announced that they took out a $2.2 billion, that's with a B, billion-dollar loan to essentially provide more cash on hand, right? So they can operate without any interruptions. It's good in the short term because it's going to give Royal Caribbean liquidity, which means, petty cash, and they can pay their bills and do everything they need to do to be fiscally solvent going forward, right? But it's a loan. I mean, they're going to have to pay that back eventually, but hey, they're a business. This is how businesses work, right? You borrow money when you need it, and you pay it back because the idea is you're going to make more money in the long run being able to pay that back. So, yes, it's a good thing. It allows Royal Caribbean to have more flexibility, especially here in the short term. And then hopefully this will allow them also to transition back into profitability later on. But again, I am also not a financial expert. I'm just giving you the really, really basics right there. Daniel, any update on the new terminal project for Galveston? That's a good question. No, I've not got any updates one way or the other about that, Daniel. Karen Wells with the super chat. Karen, thank you so much for the super chat. May 11th is your birthday, and leaving that day on Independence of the Seas, heading to Coco Key and Labadee. Cannot wait. Hope it doesn't get canceled. Well, Karen, I hope for your sake as well it is not canceled. Robert Clare, what's my favorite thing to do on Harmony of the Seas? Man, I mean, I love having margaritas at Sabor. I love going down those water slides, Perfect Storm water slides. Fantastic. Taking my wife to go see Columbus the Musical. Fabulous. Arturo, on a cruise, can people next door hear you or vice versa? In my experience, the walls are pretty solid. Can you hear things? Sure, absolutely. I mean, look, would you be able to hear each other just talking like this to you and me? Probably not. I usually have pretty good luck with not hearing neighbors next to me. But if you're yelling, if you're loud, if you got loud music, yeah, there's a chance you can hear that. But again, truly, in my experience, the noise bleed between rooms has been a very minimal issue, quite frankly. Canman says, I love Royal Caribbean. Well, then you are in the right place. Ian, good evening. I have a question for you. Have you ever tried North Star on any of the Quantum class ships? If so, tell me the ship name. Yeah, I've done it on Quantum of the Seas and Anthem of the Seas. Fantastic. So much fun, and it's complimentary. Love it. Larry Watts wants to know, do you think prices will go up after they resume cruises? Yeah, that's a really good question, my friend. I would think that I would think the prices are going to go down only because there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to want to go on a cruise. And if your ship is half full because people are canceling and or not booking, price cuts are kind of where you start. Again, I could be wrong on that. Maybe they're going to hold the line and say, hey, look, this is what it's going to cost to go on our cruise line. Take it or leave it. But we'll see. I can tell you this at the very least. When it comes to pricing, every sailing is different. I wouldn't expect a across-the-line discount. If that's what you're expecting, if you're saying, oh, Matt, that means you think there's going to be like 30% off all fares. No, I don't think so. I think there's going to be some targeted promotions out there. Let's see here. Ninja Rider, first time while you are live. Welcome, Ninja Rider. Guys, if it's your first time catching me live, like maybe you've seen these videos in the past, but first time with me live here on YouTube, let me know in the chat. Mitch Cohen says, prices have been going up. We had 2 cabins, balcony and inside for kids. Now we'll be glad to use 125 future cruise credit for 2 insides on the same itinerary coming up whenever. And that's a good point, Mitch. Thank you for bringing that up because obviously, as I said, prices are going to vary depending on sailings out there. I think also, I don't think the system, and when I say the system, I mean the pricing mechanism that Royal Caribbean employs is not really like, this is all, we got to get past this point for things to adjust. I feel like there's a lag factor to that. Could be wrong. Could be 100% wrong on all of this, as I always possibly am. Let's see here. Mammy, hello. Thank you so much for the information. We have a cruise in August. You think I can still make it? I certainly hope so. Nobody here can promise you. Look, I think by August, I would definitely think you have a good chance at it. But again, I'm just basing this off of truly hunches and guesses, just like everybody else in here. Christine O'Neill writes, prices are rock bottom for our Ovation sailing now. Too bad it probably won't happen. I would be able to upgrade from an inside to a balcony for less than what I paid. Yeah, and that's the whole Alaska thing with Canada closing its ports. It really is unfortunate, Christine, but fingers crossed something's going to happen over there. Gary Miola, first time live. I always miss the live show. Well, Gary, I am so glad that you are here. Richard Huntington, welcome. Glad to have you here. Angie, not first time live, but first time in a long time. That kind of counts. Welcome back, Angie. Good to see you as always. Tony says, first time catching you live today. Tony. 5-Trip, what do you think Royal will do about the amplification on Explorer going in November? Excuse me, guys. That's a good question. We talked about that earlier with Allure. I think amplifications right now are going to take a back seat. They need to get back in operation. They need to get the cash flow going. And when they see where everything is, I think they're going to resume that. But there is no schedule right now for when Allure and Explorer and other ships next year will get Royal amplifications. I hope it happens sooner than later, but I think they've got a lot of they got bigger fish to fry right now than when the water slides get added to a particular ship. Richard Huntington, my goodness, with a giant super chat. Oh, thank you, Richard. Richard writes, waiting on my back-to-back on Allure in late October this year. Look on the bright side, dude. The more time you got, whoever's got the higher countdown to their cruise, odds are in your favor of you actually going on that one. Nora Martinez is here. How are you doing, Nora? Do you think Royal Caribbean will cancel additional cruises? I'm supposed to sail April 11th, and they haven't canceled yet. They very well could, Nora. I really don't know how to handicap it. Nora, this may not make you feel better, but I want to paint this picture for you. When they did the 30-day suspension of cruises, right? They announced it on April 13th to begin at midnight on April 14th. Today is March 23rd. So, it stands to reason, based on history, that logically we could be waiting until literally the day before your cruise for them to make that decision. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the plan. I could be completely wrong about that, Nora. I'm just pointing out that fact, and by also pointing out I have no idea, but it could happen. Tony, if the June 5th cruise is canceled, do you already have a date in mind? I do not, Tony. That's a good question, dude. I haven't even thought that far. I'd love to. Oh man, so many options out there, right? So I don't know. Sharon Stockman with a giant super chat. Oh, Sharon, thank you so much. Hi, Matt. Personally, I don't think the applications of Allure and Explorer will happen until they can be scheduled after current posted sailing so that they don't have to cancel other cruises. That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that, Sharon. I think that certain decisions, like the amplifications, are way down the list now in terms of priority, right? I think number one priority, getting cruises back. Number two, getting revenue back. Trying to stop the bloodletting here and let them get back into operation. But to your point, Sharon, you bring up an excellent point, because look, at the end of the day, they're not going to do anything until, with these amplifications, until they make room for them, because it's going to take a number of weeks for that work to be done. So you're absolutely right over there. Let's see here. KZ in the house, booked with MEI Travel. Thank you very much, KZ. Thank you for supporting our sponsor, I should say. Let's just ban that guy. Thank you. MJ Lemmer, first time live here. Can you comment on how safe San Juan or Labadee are? Got young kids. No worries at all. MJ, first of all, welcome. Glad to have you here. And thank you for that super chat earlier today. I will tell you, San Juan, it's part of the U.S. I have no qualms about walking around Old San Juan. You should have none either. And Labadee, even though it's in Haiti, is in the middle of nowhere. It is literally walled off from anywhere else. It's a peninsula. There's a giant wall. There's no traffic. Outside that wall, it's a very rural area. So it's very, very safe. I would not worry about that at all. Sophie Bird says, am I the only one who's dressing up for dinner every night on Quarantine of the Seas? I hope my Harmony cruise won't be canceled. I was supposed to be on Rhapsody in Costa Maya today. Sophie, I love that. I mean, I know that a lot of us are trying to get like little bits of like Royal Caribbean fixes at home. Obviously, you guys hanging out here with me is one way, but whether you're making, the type of cocktails you might make on a Royal Caribbean ship or watching videos, I love that. Rosewater says, have you been to Coco Key? Heck yeah, it is amazing. Like, so good. The changes they've done to Perfect Day Coco Key have been phenomenal. Incredible, quite frankly. So, Diane Mattis is here. Diane says, did you ever have Abe Hughes as your cruise director? Yes, he was my cruise director on Harmony of the Seas and I think one other ship. He is really, really good. I know he's been doing those awesome Virtual of the Seas things over on Facebook. What a great guy. I mean, he's such a fun dude. Obviously, a lot of energy as a former cruise director. So, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Sadie, how are the kids club on Navigator? What kinds of activities do they have for kids as 6-8? A lot of activities, Sadie. Navigator is one of the newly updated Adventure Ocean areas. There's organized activities throughout the day. There's games they can play. There's video games. There's a rock climbing wall in Adventure Ocean, if you can believe that. They keep them busy. They definitely keep them busy. And quite frankly, in my opinion, wear them out. So yeah, it's a great ship. I think you'll love it. I think your kids love it even better. Todd Cohn, we bought a 5-night dining package for Ovation of the Seas, so we have to wait until we make specialty restaurants on board. How hard is it to get good times? Todd, you're absolutely right, and it's not very difficult at all, dude. Like, I mean, unless you're like, hey man, I really want to eat dinner at 2 o'clock, or 2 o'clock. I want to eat dinner at 6 o'clock at Chops on day 3, and if it's not that, I'll be upset. Okay, you might have to be a little flexible, dude, but you can definitely get, in my experience, it works out pretty darn well, assuming you go there, Todd, on day 1 to make those reservations. Iad with a super chat. Iad, thank you so much. Anthem of the Seas is your favorite ship. Awesome. Tony Snow in the house. Another Tony joining us here. Welcome, Tony. Richard Stoneham, I have a scheduled cruise on May 3rd. As a percentage, what do you think is the likelihood of sailing? Richard, I can't give you a percentage, dude. I'd love to, but I can't because there's absolutely no data for me to back that up. I'm literally making it up, just like anybody else, Richard. There's no way to know, quite frankly, whether your cruise is April 11th or July 11th or December 11th. Without data, it's yeah, this isn't like a sporting event where your team is coming in to play another team and their record is, you know, they've double the record, double the wins you have. Okay, well then you can pretty much figure that out, right? But here, it's just anybody's guess. It is a guessing game on that, and yeah, that's tough. I wish I'd give you an answer, dude. I don't want to be like, oh, I can't, you know, I just got to spell it out as best I can. Amy Rogers, people in their 70s and 80s are a large part of the cruise community. Do you think all the conditions they're putting out on passengers over 70 would put additional stress on the cruise line revenues? Yeah, I mean, they're limiting their potential customer base to some extent, Amy. You're right, and I do agree that seniors are definitely a big factor, big age group for the cruise line. There's no doubt about that. I do believe that Royal Caribbean and all the cruise lines put that policy into place to protect the most vulnerable guests from the coronavirus, right? It's one thing if I get it, because I'm under 40, I am not in my risk factors are significantly lower, as are my children, as are a lot of other people compared to people who are above 70. So that's why it's there. Now, I do believe also, Amy, once we move past this, and coronavirus is really in our rear view mirror, absolutely that rule will be rescinded. I have no doubt in my mind that'll be the case. Andre, love Royal Caribbean. Did you buy the stocks yet? I have not. I am not a stocks guy. I know certain things, and I'm you know, I know certain things, and I like to think I know a lot of things, but stocks and all that, not my forte. So. David Alvarado with a super chat, another super chat. David Alvarado, thank you so much, my friend. Favorite slide at Coco Key? Ooh, it's got to be Daredevil's Peak. I mean, that giant red slide, the top one, it's the longest slide. It's fast without being like super scary. That one is awesome. I do like the raft slide, the family raft slide as well. That's pretty darn cool. Either of those, sign me up any day of the week. Mr. Matty in the house, welcome. Glad to have you here. Powerful Female, how many cruises did you go on last year? Let me ask, I'm going to add it up. The Powerful Female, I need to ask you a question. If I do a back-to-back-to-back, I did a 3-nighter, a 4-nighter, and a 3-nighter on the same ship, is that one sailing or 3? I think most people say 3, but to me, in my mind, it was one vacation. You know what I mean? But last year, I think I went on, in the ballpark of about 10 or so. 2019, where are we here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, wait, some of these are not. Yeah, some of these are, the system is broken. I think about 10 or so, give or take. Unless you count the 3 as 3, then it was probably like 13. Elizabeth Taylor, why can you say coronavirus and other bloggers can't? I don't know what you mean by that, Elizabeth, quite frankly. Jason Rivas, Jason, thank you for the super chat. My son Ryan wants to know what you think of the amplified Oasis versus the Harmony of the Seas. We've been on Harmony twice and booked Oasis for our next cruise. Ryan, I love both ships. Adventure Ocean on Oasis is so much better on Oasis than it is on Harmony because they completely redid it. It's amazing, dude. Like, so cool. I love what they've done on there. The water slides, Ultimate Abyss, very similar to what you've seen on Harmony. They're more similar than they're different, quite frankly. But, there's those little touches, right? Portside Barbecue on Oasis, oh, it's so good, right? Oasis Portside Barbecue, whereas Harmony has Sabor. I don't know if you're like me, I love tacos, and they have some excellent tacos over there on Harmony and margaritas, but that's not for you, that's for your mom. Or your dad, sorry. Jason, sorry. And your mom. Your mom can have margaritas too. But they're both fantastic ships. I would say since you've done Harmony, you're gonna love the changes on Oasis. Let's see here. Joette, I'm crying if they cancel my mid-May cruise lands in Vancouver. I wish they would let it end in Seattle, then let the mini Alaska cruise take off from there. I know you have to have a foreign port. Yeah, Joette, I have also an Alaska cruise this year, and it doesn't look good because Canada's closed off their cruise ports. Let's cross our fingers and hope that things change, So, where does Super Mario live now? I believe he has a condo. He's always had a condo in South Florida. I'm assuming he's just over there hanging out, Sharon, other bloggers have been demonetized for mentioning the beer. Really? Since when? On YouTube? Interesting. I don't use it in my title. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Number one, I think it's disingenuous. And guys, I'm willing to give up every penny of this video. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it doesn't exist. If you're asking me about it, it's the topic of the day, to say the least. I think it's silly not to. I think it's insult to you guys. Wouldn't it? Don't you think? Like, clearly, look, there are some people who are interested in, like, questions about the drink package and Sabor and whatnot. But I can't sit... Now, granted, I'm not making videos about the topic. That I can understand. Like, I don't have, I did one video. Maybe that got demonetized. I have to take a look at it. I'm not sure. But, yeah, David, thank you again for the super chat here. If they use that phrase. Interesting. I have not seen it. I would love to... I don't know what that's about, quite frankly. YouTube sends me emails, but I'm not aware of that. But quite frankly, guys, to me, it's more important to get you guys the information you're out. If you want to know the information, I am happy to answer it for you. I mean, that's what I'm here for, right? If I sit here and pretend it doesn't exist or tell you guys we can't talk about this, doesn't that seem like silly? But I get it. Other people got to make money, and that's their. I got to make money too. But I'm willing to roll the dice on that, because at the end of the day, to me, the number one goal is to help everybody have a better Royal Caribbean cruise. That's been the goal of RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and that's what I do here. See, Amy says that they pretend it doesn't. They don't pretend it doesn't exist. They just use other names for it. Well, that's just silly. How old are we? Come on, not them. I'm talking about the rules. If this really is the rule, oh well. I don't care. I'm not going to sit here. It's silly, and yeah, I don't care. So, you guys can call it whatever you want. I'll call it whatever I want, and yeah, it's just silly. That's all. Come on. How does the dining package work, Lizzie? So, if you buy a dining package on a Royal Caribbean cruise, you get a certain amount of nights at a specialty restaurant that you can go to during your cruise. Now, there's 3-night packages. There's the limited package, which obviously is available for the entire duration of your cruise. But it allows you to save a lot of money, by the way, for booking a dining package compared to trying to eat at the same amount of restaurants if you just went up to the restaurant and paid cash. Oh, I see. So Christine says, I think it's people making videos about coronavirus specifically. They don't want people making money off the panic with the clickbait and bad info. Yeah, and I did one video a couple of weeks ago about that. And hey, if that got taken down or demonetized, whatever. It's not my end-all, be-all. That I can understand there, But for me to be talking with you guys, and this is not the topic of the video, you can see here, the topic is, let's talk Royal Caribbean Cruises live right now. There you go. So, yeah, and Chris, I'm not denying what you guys are saying here. I don't think any of these people are wrong or anything. I haven't personally read it. I'm surprised, quite frankly, because I usually read everything YouTube sends me, but whatever. But I do, guys, first of all, thank you for letting me know about that, though. Jeffrey Leonard with a giant super chat. Jeff, my friend, thank you so much. I thought I saw where Royal Caribbean made some kind of change to the future cruise credit during this time. Jeff, I'm not tracking what you're talking about. I thought I saw where. Can you elaborate on your question, sir? I'm not sure I understand where you're coming from on that one. Carrie, I fly out in 25 days for my cruise. I'm praying I still get to go. I hope you get to go as well. I really, really hope so. John DiMuccio with the super chat. John, you, sir, have a great name, a fun name to say, and are super, super helpful. Thank you. John writes, any thoughts on a 5-night cruise on Freedom of the Seas to Bermuda for my wife and I? Kids free this time. You had me at kids free. Definitely YOLO book that, right? And thank you, John, for all your support. Yeah, go for it, dude. Dude, freedom, amplified freedom, and Bermuda, and no kids? Yes! Yes, John. I keep this sign for people like you. YOLO, book it. Yeah, thank you again for the super chat. I wonder why Anthem is not in Bayonne. Oh, well, like today, there's no, I mean, they're all over the place. But she's going to Europe for the summer, or she was supposed to. Let's see here. James says, Matt, I really appreciate your candid responses. Appreciate your honesty and willingness to admit when you don't have an answer. Hey, man, I am the first person to admit I don't know everything, right? And I'm not afraid to say I don't know. Does anyone here know the answer to it? I think that's, I want to keep it real with you guys. Because if I sit here and pretend to know everything, give you guys answers, and try to, sweet talk everybody, pretty soon you're going to see through this, right? Like, I can't fake it for that long. I do know what I know. Now I sound like Popeye. I knows what I knows. But no, I appreciate it, my friend. I just want to be as honest as we can with each other. Matthew Seitz, thank you for the super chat, Matthew. My goodness, thank you. Matthew writes, when you have a short 3-day sailing with ports for both days, can you get lunch when it looks like you're on... Oh, I'm sorry, let me try this again. When you have a short 3-day sailing with ports for both days, can you get lunch with it like you do on longer sailings for sea days? There are some specialty restaurants open on sea day, on port days, even if you have no sea day, if that's what you're asking. Not a lot, but there are options, and you can always get lunch in the Windjammer, I should say. Jeff, I'm still looking for your follow-up here because I wanted to answer your question. I just waiting to see it. Sharon says, Roker is trying to get an exception from the law to be able to cruise to Alaska from Seattle until Canada ports reopen. I would love that. That'd be great. So, Jeff, the future cruise credits, let me put it this way, Jeff. I am not aware of any, unless something came in since I started this broadcast. And you can send me a message on Facebook, dude, if you see something differently, or I can maybe clarify that. But I'm not aware of any future cruise credit changes right now. I'm really racking my brain, dude, to try to think of what you could be referring to. But I don't know. I'm sorry. Sadie, can you take advantage of the expedited check-in in the app, even if you don't have a passport? No. You need to have a passport, Sadie, in order to use the expedited arrival. Colton wants to know, what's there to do in San Juan, Puerto Rico? Walk around. It's a great place to walk around. Explore on your own. Your ship will dock right in Old San Juan. When you walk off the ship, you are in Old San Juan. There's great history, dining. A lot of people go, first of all, to the old Spanish forts, El Morro, San Cristobal. A lot of great stuff over there. Sebastian, what do you think of everything with Corona and cruises? It's awful. It's unprecedented. It's crazy. I think crazy is probably the best way to describe it. Because at the end of the day, this has never happened before. I mean, there have been downturns in the cruising industry. There's been downturns in travel. But I don't think we've never seen it where the entire cruise industry goes, grounds to a halt and says, all right, hang on, guys, time out. We're sitting this out for a little bit. That in and of itself is unheard of. And with everything else going on here, I mean, it's obviously a ton of impact. Christine, maybe he just means being able to get the future cruise credit up to 48 hours before departure. The Cruise with Confidence program. Maybe. Is that what you're talking about, Jeff? Thank you for that, Christine. I appreciate it. I'm just... And Jeff, feel free to keep... I'm looking for your messages, my friend. I'm trying to figure out exactly what you mean here. Tony, remember when traveling solo, it's always for research purposes. Tony, you know me so well, man. We haven't even met yet. And you know me like wow. We could have been brothers, but only one of us looks like Brad Pitt. Ryan Hagen with a super chat. Ryan, thank you so much, my friend. First time with the Royal Caribbean on Symphony season in October. If they cancel it and issue a future cruise credit, how long do you have to use it? Right now, and this could change, but right now, you have to go on the cruise before December 31st, 2021. Sin City Titan, can you book cruises currently? Absolutely, yes. Pascal, might he be talking about the ability of a travel agent to put a hold? Maybe that's what you're talking about, yeah. Joe Kaiser, when Odyssey comes out, will they have the app on the ship? Oh, yes. You can bet that one for sure, dude. Gavin, there's also good ziplining series in San Juan. Which one did you do? I've not heard of that one. Tiffany Farnham's got a question for me. Is El Loco Fresh on Oasis complimentary or does it cost extra? It is complimentary. It's really good. My oldest daughter loves El Loco Fresh. I mean, at the end of the day, she can just eat quesadillas like, just nom 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 nom. It's just nonstop over there. Christine, I wonder if the global level 4 travel advisor will also impact the ability to restart cruises. The State Department is saying do not travel internationally, period. That's true. Christine, the only difference between level 4 and level 3, though, is they're basically just saying with level 4, they can't promise that the U.S. government will come and get you later if you get stuck somewhere. Otherwise, there is no difference between that and level 3, which is still bad in and of itself. Don't get me wrong, but the warnings I wrote about this at RoyalCaribbeanblog.com today. The warnings won't stop Royal Caribbean. It won't stop anybody. They're advisories. They're not legal. Like they're not gonna say you sir cannot cruise. But to your point, I do think there's going to be a lot of people who do take notice of that and heed that warning and will not be reluctant to cruise. Paul, do you know what the availability of cruises for fall and winter season is this year? Nothing's been canceled yet, dude. Now that could change, but nothing's been changed yet. Adam Rosario is here. I'm new to the channel after 3 weeks. Finally able to watch this live. Love the channel and the podcast. Brother, thank you for joining us here. Really appreciate it. I'm trying to see here if Jeff gave us some more information. I don't think so, though. Caroline B, would you recommend checking in as soon as possible, or can I wait to see if I'm going on the cruise? Yeah, there's no harm in checking in now. But yes, I do think there's one reason, and one reason only, why I think you should check in early. And that is, if you're like me, you will sit here and be like, oh, I got plenty of time. I'll do that later. Delete that email. And then you forget. I do that I've done that a number of times. So the good and if you do the online check-in, first of all, it takes about, if you use Royal Caribbean's app to do the check-in, it'll take you like 3 minutes. It's super easy, and there's no harm if you check in and then obviously don't go on the cruise. Shayna, on a 7-night cruise, how many 4 nights are there? 2, my friend. So if you're a Harmony and Empress on the app, Harmony is. I'm not sure about. Yes, Empress is as well. I remember Michael letting me know about that. Thank you, Michael. Skull Rider, great name. Do junior suite customers get all the suite perks like boarding and other things? No. They get some, but not all the perks. They get prior to embarkation, but they don't get access to the concierge lounge. They don't get they don't get to use the concierge services themselves. It's basically just a large balcony with a nicer. You get a walk-in closet, full-size bathtub, upgraded toiletries in the room, but it's not the same benefits as the suite. You do also get with junior suites though double Crown and Anchor points. Gary writes, we saw Royal Caribbean was doing a few short Oasis cruises at the end of next month and early May. Any idea why they do these short sailings on Oasis? Gary, it's a good question. Usually because there's charters. So a company will rent out a cruise ship for a couple days, and in order to get the ship back on track, because they always leave on the same day for 7-night cruises, they offer these shorter sailings as opposed to leaving the ship, sit idly by. Pascal, on a positive note, only 202 days till the Royal Caribbean blog group cruise on Brilliance of the Seas. Yes! Yes! Jeff, I think I misspoke. I think it was about the hold on cruises when you use your cruise credit. Ah, yes! So, Jeff, I'm just going to talk about that because you brought it up and we might as well talk about it. Royal Caribbean allowed, over the weekend, travel agents only to be able to place holds now through May 31st with no deposit required until May 31st. For people that are looking to book cruises with their future cruise credit. The idea is people are getting future cruise credits for canceled cruises. They want to rebook, but they don't want to book anything until they have the money on hand. So Royal's like, all right, we hear you guys. We're cool. They're going to allow the holds. Travel agents can always do holds, but they were usually 3 or 5 days at the most, right? But you can do a hold with the travel agent. Travel agent will hold the room for you and the rate. Everything gets frozen. It's just like a booking, except there's no deposit. But it'll hold there until you put a deposit down anytime between now and May 31st. David Alvarado with another super chat. David, you are incredible, my friend. Thank you so much. David, apologies for the extra technical question. Brother, you never need to apologize for being super awesome. Do you know how the stabilizers of Royal Caribbean cruise ships work? On Adventure, we were rocking pretty good. I think I heard them moving in the casino, or am I crazy? My understanding, and again, preface here, I am not an engineer. My understanding is the stabilizers are little wings that come out the front of the ship on both sides. So imagine I've got a model. Hang on. We need not imagine. Here's my model. Let me pull up my preview here so I can see what I'm talking about. All right. So here's the cruise ship model. The stabilizers exist on the front ends of both of both sides of the ship, right? And the idea is they jet out almost like little wings on an airplane. And the idea is that it helps take the literally, for lack of a better word, stabilize the ship when waves are coming in. It takes they're not just smashing against the bow of the ship. It helps break that up and lessen the sensation of movement on board. Now, there's a couple things to keep in mind. You need to be moving at a certain speed for stabilizers to work. You can have stabilizers out, but if you're like, just putzing around for like, a couple knots, it doesn't work. You need to be going at least at a certain speed in order for that to work. Beyond that, yeah, I'm not sure about any of that. Gotta ban that guy. Does that answer your question, David? On the very basics? I mean, I've been on ships where it's like, why aren't they using the stabilizers? Or for one thing, they may be working and they're just not effective. For another, usually it's because they're going too slow. But yeah, there's a lot of factors there. Karen, I didn't think it was fair that Royal Caribbean allowed the holds with travel agents that came out a week after they told me they wouldn't do it with any exceptions. Well, look at it this way, at the very least, Karen. The benefit is they've heard your feedback and they've implemented it there. I'm sorry it didn't work out in your situation, obviously. But I am glad that they're doing that. I think my chat is frozen right now. I can still see MJ just gave me a super chat. Thank you, MJ. Thank you. Hold on, MJ. I'm reloading my chat, guys. Stand by for 2 seconds here. Because my chat is like, it's not moving, but I can see things happening. MJ with the super chat. Good evening, Matt. Back in Kissimmee, Florida. Had to step out. Don't know if I missed. If you heard, they'll reschedule Allure before January 2021. Been downloading your podcast to listen while staying positive. Well, I really appreciate it. MJ, no, there's no updates on when the amplifications for Allure or Explorer will occur. It's all kind of in limbo right now. David, you're very welcome. And again, thank you, MJ. Thank you, David, for these super chats. My goodness, guys. You guys have been super amazingly generous today. It's incredible, quite frankly, because, in today's world, it's just so much there's so much downturn. And to have you guys here hanging out with me, talking Royal Caribbean, and being so generous, as always. You guys are my rocks. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Ben, I heard you mention a group cruise on Brilliance in 202 days. We just had our cruise canceled for Brilliance and are trying to rebook for November 14th. Is that the trip you're doing? No, we're on Brilliance October 11th, I believe. Colton, do you have a go-to Embarkation Day Windjammer meal combo? Windjammer, yes. Indian curry, dude. At the end of the day, I love me some Indian curry. So I will go for the curry of the day. That's my Embarkation Day meal. Love that stuff. Joseph, do you think it's a good idea to book a cruise for next month, April 18th? As long as you're okay with the idea that maybe it won't happen because the Royal could cancel it, sure, I think it's a great idea. I mean, I have a cruise April 23rd. Does that make you feel any better? I don't know. Matt Rierick, my goodness, my friend. Thank you so much for the super chat and for having such a great name. Matt writes, something better than sitting here listening and keeping me sane while I deal with my cruise withdrawal. 321 till Oasis. Keep up the great work, my friend. Thank you so much. That means a lot. And hey, look, like I said, people with longer countdowns like yourself, 321, look on the bright side. You're not sweating this whole 30-day thing, right? You've got plenty of time to figure all that out. Michael Ireland, going on Oasis of the season in October. What would be the first thing to do on Embarkation Day once on board and everything is booked? What would you recommend the most? Eat lunch, go to the Windjammer, have your lunch, go to the pool deck. At the end of the day, go to the pool, have your first official drink on board. I think that's a lot of fun. Love doing that. By the way, Christine, if you're still here, I am wearing my Alaska 2018 Group Cruise t-shirt. I have these Group Cruise we always make Group Cruise t-shirts, and now they're kind of like, this is from 2018, but this is like rock band concert shirts, It's like, oh, you went to that Van Halen concert in 84? Yeah, man, I was there. Oh, you went to that Royal Caribbean Blog Group Cruise in 2017 on Navigator of the Seas? Heck yeah! It's totally the same thing, right? Bob, what is Royal Caribbean's refund and future cruise credit policy currently on cruises that they cancel? If they cancel it, you have the choice of 100% refund or 125% future cruise credit. Don, can you please explain the 125% refund? Do we have to use it on 2 separate sailings? Yeah. So Don, no. It's not a refund. It's a future cruise credit. So it's a It's a credit. It's a balance that you can use later. But you do not, Dawn, need to use it towards one sail. Let's say your credit is worth $1,000 and you book another cruise that's $500, right? You put that money, that future cruise credit towards that. You got $500 left over. That Royal Caribbean will reissue you a new future cruise credit for the remaining balance, $500, and you can use that towards another sailing. You cannot use future cruise credits towards the deposit, towards taxes, port fees, gratuities, excursions. It's just towards the base cruise fare. I hope that makes sense to you. Keith, I normally fly in the day before my cruise day, but my next cruise departure is at 8 p.m. Do you think it's safe to fly in the same day? Keith, I understand where you're coming from. I still think it's a mistake. I do, because again, you never know. You really don't want a flight delay to put your whole vacation at risk. I can understand why you think that, and do people do that? Yeah, of course they do. This is more about best practices. I wouldn't personally do it. Obviously, if you take the first flight of the day, you say, Matt, I'm taking the 6 a.m. flight. We're going to be like literally the first flight out. Hey, man, that's probably a good thing to do, right? Rosewater, are there any new cruises in Royal Caribbean? What do you mean by that, Rosewater? We did last week. Was it last week, guys? We released, or 2 weeks ago, Royal Caribbean released the short Caribbean sailings, and we posted that at RoyalCaribbeanblog.com. Michael, can you name your 5 favorite foods or snacks on Royal Caribbean ships or private islands? All right, I'm going to get hungry now. Top 5. I'm assuming you want them in order. All right. This is tough, dude. This is really tough. I don't know if I do it in order. The crispy chicken sandwich at Snack Shack at Perfect Day Coco Key has to be there. Izumi Hibachi. Whatever they serve me, that serving, the main course, dude, amazing. So good. Any Indian curry, with special shout out to aloo gobi. I love aloo gobi. It's potato and cauliflower curry. Oh my God, guys, it's amazing. It'll change your world. So good. That's 3. The Camel Wick sandwich from Park Cafe. Phenomenal. So good. Love that. That's number 4. And number 5, spaghetti bolognese, main dining room. You'll thank me later. Chow Diva, will you do a vlog about the future cruise credit? I've done a blog post about it, but maybe I should do that. You know what, Chow? I think I'll do that for Thursday. I didn't do one last week because I couldn't think of anything that wasn't coronavirus, and I didn't want to do one about that. I'm gonna make a note right now. Hang on, Chow. Thank you so much for the idea. It's on the calendar. Well, it's on the calendar. It's my notepad, but it will be on the calendar. So thank you, Chow. It's a great idea. Gary agrees. Number 1, chicken sandwich, Chicago Key. I'm not sure about the ranking on those 5 I just gave you, but dude, Gary, I don't know that I'd argue with you on that one. You know. Andy, if I got the junior suite, should I pay for the key? No, I don't think the key is really worth it, quite frankly. I've done a video about that before. But yeah. Jonesy in the house. Order by rank and name. Can somebody strangle Jonesy for me? Tony Diaz with the super chat. Tony, thank you so much, my friend. To the multi-talented Brad Pitt looking brother from another mother. Tony. Hashtag sorry Tony. Guys, can we put hashtag sorry Tony in the chat right now? Wow, Tony, you the man. Laura O'Donnell, the pride of Kansas City. Laura, so good to hear you. I got a quick story for you, Laura. Sorry, guys, I'm going to talk to Laura here for a moment. My father-in-law had to call 911 the other day because there was like a brush fire going on sort of near his house. And he called 911, and my kids were over. And I was like, oh, did Laura answer? You know, obviously I know that you didn't answer that one, but good to see you here, Laura. Hope all is well over in the Midwest, in the Show Me State. See, it's everything I know about. Look at that. I know everything about your state. Shay is here. My cruise isn't canceled yet, but I'm sure it will be May 16th. But even if it isn't, I'm still going. I didn't spend money to get it back, but I'm still going, currently looking at future dates. I'm in the same situation, Shay. I've got cruises coming up here. I have cruise April 23rd, May 16th, June 5th. Do I think all 3 are going to happen right now today? I'm not so sure about that, but I put my final payment down. I am ready to go. If it's there, I will be there. Jim wants to know, is hurricane season November 18th? Yes. Hurricane season goes all the way until the end of November 30th. But usually, Jim, by the time it gets to November, hurricane season is kind of like done with. The peak is September, mid-September to mid-October, and then really once you get in November, it really just craters, kind of disappears right there. St. Louis is the show me. No, Missouri is the show. Missouri is the state. St. Louis is a wonderful city. Caitlin, is the RoyalUp program worth it? It can be. I mean, really, Caitlin, I think the problem most people have with RoyalUp, which is that stateroom bidding upgrade program, is you have to understand that it is a program that is, just because you get the offer, like you can make an offer for RoyalUp, doesn't actually mean there's room available. That's probably the biggest frustration source for a lot of people, because they get the offer and they're like, wow, all these rooms are available, but not so much. The Royal Caribbean uses it, yes, to fill rooms that are unsold, but also in case somebody cancels at the last minute. So, Megan says, I agree. The key wasn't all that great besides the first day lunch with Chops. No one came to escort us off the ship for Coco Key, and we asked the employees if no one was able to help us. I think it's not it's not like a bad thing. It's just not as good as it sounds. I think that's the best way I can describe it right there. Miranda is here. Hi, Matt. How are you doing? I'm doing really well. Thank you. Josie, Matt should get t-shirts made with hashtag sorry Tony on it. We'll definitely do like a sayings video on there, but yeah. It'll be like hashtag sorry Tony. Sorry, I thought you were Brad Pitt. You know, things like that. David Alvarado, you're crazy. Michael, not sure I want to do it, but first stop in Florida, and we'll be going to the NASA Museum. Also doing Stingray Swim in NASA at Blue Lagoon. Do you think it's worth it? Sure. I think Kennedy Space Center is amazing. You'll love it. And Blue Lagoon, if you're doing an animal encounter, can be a lot of fun. So. Jonesy, here's something super important. Anyone know why Royal Caribbean closes the ice cream machine so early? Primarily because they have to have staff there. They used to make it self-service, but, you know people, right? They're just like, oops, I left the machine on, and, anyway, they have to staff it, and staff are best used during the evenings elsewhere, like at dinner with all the different restaurants. I think that's really what it's all about, if I could guess. Rosewood, what's your favorite restaurant on a cruise? Izumi Hibachi. Love that place. Marcus, you get a lunch with unlimited dining package on glacier cruising days. Yeah, if you have a sea day, if you're at sea, not in port, yes, absolutely. MJ, still agree with you, Matt, on the key not being worth it. Stay strong, my friend. Good stuff here. I think we're... Mary says, State of Ohio is on mandatory stay-at-home status, and your video is making it so much less boring. Thanks, Matt. Love your energy, voice, info. Well, I really appreciate that, Mary. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll have to do some more live videos during the week, because I know that, during the regular course of the week, before all this stuff, it really wasn't a big deal. But now, with everyone being home, maybe we'll have to do that there. So, all right, guys. On that note, gonna head on out of here. I want to say a big thank you to everybody. You guys, quick moment here. I need a couple minutes here to talk to you guys, because you guys have been so supportive, so great. Whether you're sharing my blog posts, whether you're coming in here to talk with me here about Royal Caribbean, making me laugh, making Tony laugh, making everybody laugh, sharing good information, tips, helping each other out in chat here. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being part of what I think is the best community out there. We've got such a great community that's here. You guys are awesome, so thank you for being a part of it. And of course, a big special shout out to all our super chatters today. Tony Diaz, thank you. Matt Rierick, thank you. MJ, thank you. David Alvarado, you're crazy, man. Thank you so much. Ryan Hagan, thank you. Matthew Seitz, thank you. Iad, thank you. John DiMuccio, thank you. Jeff Leonard, thank you, my friend. Jason Rivas and Ryan Rivas, thank you for the super chats. Sharon Stockman, thank you as always. Richard Huntington, thank you. Karen Wells, thank you. MJ Lemmer, thank you for that super chat as well. Andy Poro, Gary Miola, thank you. Kim Oakland as well. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys. Again, we got plenty more waiting for you at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Check out those new blog posts over there. Until our next live broadcast, have a great rest of your day. Do something fun, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Good night, everybody.